Alvarez family and Christopher and his struggle and his battle with cancer. And so we're going to take just a minute for you to think of them, reflect on them, and pray for them if that's your belief. And then I'll lead us in prayer and we'll get started. Lord, we thank you for this night. We thank you for those who have gathered, Lord, to celebrate our students' accomplishments, the families that are represented here. We thank you for them and their students. And Lord, even those who are not here tonight that are in our district, we pray, Lord, that you would bless each family in a special way, that you would help our students to continue to be successful. We thank you for bringing us together to do the work of this district. We pray, Lord, that we would be able to focus on the issues, that we would be able to make wise choices, always remembering what's best for our kids and for their families. We thank you for the staff that dedicate themselves daily to helping our kids and going above and beyond anything that's expected. We appreciate them, Lord, and we thank you for their gifts and talents that they share with us. Lord, we pray for the Alvarez family, that you would be with them and with Christopher in his battle, that, Lord, you would give him strength and courage to fight the good fight, and, Lord, that your healing would be on his life if it's your will. We thank you now. We pray that as we go, that we would be agreeable even when we don't agree. We love you and we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. You may be seated. First thing on our agenda is the approval of our minutes from our last meeting. We had a public meeting, and then we had our board meeting. I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes. It's got approval of minutes. The next on the agenda.
It's also got them under action.
Do I have it? Okay, we'll just postpone that till the consent agenda. And then if there are any questions, the board can ask questions on that. Okay, so we'll go right into recognitions. Miss Wendy, do you have some recognitions for us?
It's Board Appreciation Month. So those are going to be our recognitions tonight. Do you just want to go campus by campus?
Yeah, I think Barrow has some visitors. Probably want to start with Barrow, I think. So I think Miss Galloway's out sick tonight. So Miss Cantu?
Yes.
All right.
All right, I just have a token of appreciation for you guys. All right, so you're going to start, you have Miss Reed, right? Okay, there you go. Thank you so very much. Oh, that's nice. On the back, each of them wrote a letter thanking you guys for everything that you do, and they printed it on the back. Yes. Okay, Carter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
She's got
Thank you. This for everybody? For me to pass out? Good, good. Thank you. You.
Sir, I appreciate it.
They're dressed up.
That is so nice. I have a picture of this group.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You got the big guy right there.
All right.
Very good.
Let's get a picture of Maybe I'll look
Can we get a picture?
Picture here. You bet.
Stand right here in front, guys.
Yeah, maybe we'll stand up and be in the picture with them.
Towards the desks. There you go. Here. Here, let's put you right in between Mr. Galloway and Ms. Hebner. Okay, and then Carter, you get there. You get here. Scooty, here, you come over here. Everybody. Yeah, hands. Come on, Scooty. You have voice. You know. Okay, squeeze in.
Now, where are you gonna stand?
Huh?
Where are you gonna stand?
No. All right. 1, 2, 3. Very good.
Got it.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Yeah. Barrow parents, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you.
You're scooting, I'm gonna read one of the notes that was left in front of me. School board members, thank you. If you weren't here, I wouldn't be here right now. Without you, this school would be a disaster. Thank you for everything. Love, Emery.
All right. I would like to follow, but Miss Columbia, do you want to go next?
Sure. I agree, very hard act to follow. Beautiful job, you guys. Well, I hope our gifts tonight will not only warm your feet, but your heart and your stomach. From WCE tonight in the white bag, we have our tradition of keeping up with the socks. This year our theme was vintage travel, all the places we will go. So you got some travel socks to keep with the theme, as well as a fresh loaf of sourdough bread that we hope will warm your heart and your stomach. Thank you all for all that you do.
Thank y'all so much.
You can cut it on your new cutting board.
There you go.
Jealous. That's awesome, thank you.
All right, Miss Cohey, Wild Peach.
So from Wild Peach is gonna be the taller bag. Yes, they are wine bags, but unfortunately, since we are at school, it's not wine. Or the other good stuff. But trying to think of something that was different for you guys, we ended up finding a nice wind chime for you. It's something that you can hang. We make sure not to get the loud ones. So you'll just a soft reminder of everything y'all do, and thank y'all for the work y'all put in.
Thank you.
All right, Miss Lasario. All right, so ours is in the red bag. This is kind of a unique gift. So it is a piece of wood with a picture. We want to say thank you to Cody. He brought out the drone, and we took out all approaching 700 students to the track to get a picture of all of our students and staff at our facilities. At the top, you'll see the 7th and 8th grade. They're all outside of the 7th and 8th grade building. And then at the bottom is all of your 6th graders out in front of the 6th grade building. So we chose a piece of wood that is a little rough around the edges. It's a little bit imperfect. Each one is a little bit different, but so are our students, and so is our staff, and so are we. And so we wanted to give you a representation of our school. We also had Marcus, who works in Natus. He is the one who did the engraving for us. So a little bit of touch from everybody who is so appreciative for all of the work that you guys put in. And I just want you to see, there's not faces, but all of those individuals look to you. And we hope that we are rooted in their beliefs, that they are proud to be from West Brazos Junior High, that they know that they're loved. And I feel like you guys provide that for us, that space and that ability. And so I have one in my office as well to remind me every day of the people that I'm serving. And I just wanted to share those with y'all because we appreciate all that y'all do for us. So thank you. And then you have a sweet treat in the box, and each one is a different flavor. I don't want to lie to you. They're all going to be an amazing, exciting adventure because I can't remember what the flavors are, but, but they should be delicious. Thank y'all.
All right, and Mr. Kenny, last but not least.
And hopefully you have a full belly to show the appreciation. We just wanted to show off the bistro a little bit, but all of that is because of the hard work that you guys have put down, laying the foundation. Everything that has been given to you tonight, you have earned. It actually has not been given, you've earned it. So we just want to say thank you very much for all the time, all the effort, and all the love that you put into our district.
Very much. We appreciate
Thank
y'all.
you.
Good job.
I'm gonna pass these that way and pass these that way. I can take a few.
Okay.
We can see a lot of love and a lot of effort that went into all the posters, and we really appreciate you thinking of us. We're always thinking of you. All right, we have campus communications.
Cody, we're up.
So we have a video from Barrow first that's gonna play, and then we'll go into the rest of everything else for it.
Thank you for caring about our school. We appreciate you. Thank you for making our schools feel safe. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for making our school a better place. Thank you. We love our school board members. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Excellent.
So I just wanted to give some more attention to Ms. Clazel, as both of the barbecue kickoff teams have qualified for state. So we've got the notorious PIG and Smoking Revelations. And you can see on the right-hand side under the picture what they qualified for, what place they got in regions to move on to the state competition. So Ms. Clazel is doing great things both in the kitchen and out on the grill with these kids. So Barrow provided the show, we provided the dinner, and hopefully we can move on to the rest. And then I want to keep it short and sweet. Next slide is just things that are going on. We did host the Charlie Brown Classic. So that tournament had 12 teams, and it ran so smooth that the coaches asked to do it again next year and wanted to put the girls on top of it as well. We don't know if we're going to combine yet, but having those two gyms, the new facilities was fantastic, and everything ran without a hitch. And it's nice to be able to do those things with the facilities that we have now. Every visiting team that came in was just in awe of the gym. Just tonight, basically asked, what do we have to do to get one of these gyms? I told him pass a bond, but. And then we've got all of our winter spring sports starting. Coach Picard has the Road to Round Rock as he's trying to get his kids thinking championship mindset as baseball starts, softball starting. We've got soccer, both boys and girls. And then coming up, we do have a recruiting seminar in the auditorium. I just wanted to share that as we're looking to get as many of these kids into college athletics as we can as well and have them continue their successes and hopefully receive scholarships and have help with their journey through college. And then just a big thank you for all that you do. It does not go unnoticed. I know sometimes you probably feel like it does. It does not. So thank you again from the bottom of all of our hearts. We appreciate you very, very much.
All right, so here was the picture I was talking about with all of our students on the right. And again, we just want to tell you thank you so much for all that you do and investing into our students and our staff. We couldn't do it without you, and we appreciate you. We very much so. It's basketball season. We're wrapping up with our final game this week against Sweeney. We have our lady bouts on the far right. Just to give you some information on the 8th grade lady bouts, they're wrapping up an impressive season with an undefeated 6-0 record. And they have scored an impressive 247 points this season. But not just in the points, this team has grown together in teamwork and in resiliency and just building each other up. So I want to give a shout out to the 8th grade A team. They have really stepped up as leaders on campus all the way across. So great job to them. And again, they play Sweeney on Thursday. Thursday, both of them play. Boys also play here against Sweeney. Thanks to the high school for letting us use their gyms. They are going to be playing against Sweeney. And they started out, this 8th grade white team, they wanted to share with you guys, because I asked them what they would like to share, that they were 0-3 at the beginning of the season. And then they turned it around and put the work in, and they have won 4 of their last 5 games. And they feel that they have really improved as a team and as leaders as well. So I wanted to give them a shout out. All right, we had the band compete. There were 38 students that made it to all-region band from West Brazos Junior High. 38 of them, so they continue to show up and represent. Also, our bots went last weekend to Palacios, and they keep growing each and every tournament they go to. They're making more and more progress. They're further ahead than they were last year, and they're just learning so much. So we appreciate the opportunity to get to send them to competition. And then we have our student council. Student council's been busy. They traveled to Waco and attended the TASC middle level conference. They also provided food for 25 families at Thanksgiving and 25 different students for Christmas gifts. Roustabouts. So they're really learning how to grow and give. And a lot of these students that you see pictured are also the ones who step up and help out the West Brazos market as well. So growing and serving, and they're really living through that. So just some student groups really representing that we wanted to give a spotlight to.
All right. For West Columbia Elementary, I just wanted to share with y'all, last week we had our Adventure Dash Fun Run, and as you can see, a good time was had by all. The next slide, I wanted to share that we're keeping up our Excellence Awards as usual, but what I wanted to share about this particular week is, it's really fun for Ms. Howard and I every Friday when we go and we announce for the grade level who's going to be the Excellence Award winner, and as we're walking away from the grade level that just cheered them on to their success, they always want to tell us, oh, this is my 2nd time to get it, or this is my 4th time. But the most exciting is when maybe they're in 3rd or 4th or 5th, but they've never gotten it before, and they say, this is my 1st time to get the Excellence Award. And one of the students pictured here has actually been a behavior student, has had difficult times, but he got the Excellence Award. And so I'm just really proud of the progress, and it's one of the joys that we have at WC, because we have kindergarten all the way through 5th grade. We get to see 6 years worth of progress in our students and see how far that they can come under what we can offer at WC. So I'm really proud of that. And I'm so proud to share that our RoboCatters at WCE, this is our first year really getting up and running with a lot of help from Barrow and their tutelage, attended their first robotics competition this weekend. They did not advance, but this was their first time, so they learned a lot and are looking forward to competing again soon.
So one of the things that I love we have at Wild Peach is when our students go outside, I don't know how this started, but our students, they go out and they search for 4-leaf clovers. And so when they find their 4-leaf clover, Coach Nell already has these little cards cut where she tapes it to the card, she writes their name and the date. And one day, I think we've had, from this particular grade level, this is 1st grade, 10 students find 4-leaf clovers out there. And they would rather hunt for them than play. It's amazing to watch because they all sit in a circle and digging through the grass. I wanted to highlight some of the academic things that are happening at Wild Peach. So one of the things that we're trying to do as a leadership team is push all of our grade levels to do more. And so this is one of our pre-K classes. We did the Gingerbread Man Around the World. And so they read Gingerbread Man books during the week and they compared them. And so to make it interactive for our pre-K students, the teacher used the hula hoops to make Venn diagrams. And what she did was she passed out character cards to the students and they had to place them in the hula hoop Venn diagram of where they would land. And so it was really neat to see this particular teacher, Miss Hunter, step out of her comfort zone and do something that she was a little hesitant to let all her kids get up and try something new, but she did it and it worked. And then last, one of the things that we have taken on at Wild Peach is our pod zone, is our habitat. The habitat has really taken off. But what you see here is we grow all kinds of fruits and vegetables. And 2 weeks ago, when we came back from Christmas break, our students went out and picked carrots from the pod zone. They are edible. So that is one of the carrots that the students picked. And then the picture in the top right corner shows all the carrots they picked. They absolutely love it. They may go home dirty, but at the end of the day, the majority of our car riders were able to take a carrot home to share with their families. Some of them ate them before they got in the car, but it's really neat. We had we grew head of lettuce, and since we have the animals, since we are a zoo, our lettuce we were able to feed to the bearded dragon and to the turtle that we have and save money that way. But it's been quite an adventure and the kids absolutely love it. So thank y'all for the pod zone. It's quite amazing for it to be hands-on for our students, because that's what our students at Wild Peach thrive on.
Very good. Thank you. It's always fun to see what y'all are doing, and we appreciate the report. Do we have any citizens to be heard? No? Okay. All right, no citizens, so we'll move to reports under our business items. And the first one is maintenance.
Hi.
How do you get to be first every time?
I'm just that cool.
Kim is not, okay. Kim is not
Other
the-
side of the pillow.
You were last for many years, I think, right?
Thank y'all for doing that. It was agonizing. Well, in light of board appreciation, from the maintenance department, we want to give you guys a tremendous round of applause and appreciation for all the decisions that you guys make and hard work that you give to make our jobs easier, to help try to keep the complaints from the citizens and concerns and stuff about the aesthetics of our schools, the conditions coming back, and y'all having to answer for us. So y'all giving us that freedom and making all those decisions that allow us to make our own decisions in order to keep moving forward with that is a huge honor and a lot of appreciation from the maintenance department. So with that, thank y'all very much. Moving in mainly to the reports, there's not a whole lot going on. I think last we discussed the water well at Wild Peach has been drilled. We went a little beyond on depth of what we originally anticipated. I think we were originally looking for 475-ish. We're all the way down to 520 and some change. Just had to go a little bit different, a little bit deeper, just the contour of the water table. That's drilled. We're waiting on the fabrication of the tank. Once that's finished, then work will start progressing. The concrete slabs, the tanks, the little outhouse buildings, et cetera, will start going in. Roofing at West Columbia Elementary, the sundial roofing panels is the final portion of that. That's ongoing. We anticipate that being finished up in the next few days to a week, provided what kind of weather we get in the next few days. That may hinder us a little bit. Other than that, we're just moving forward with just all the other projects that really go unnoticed, aesthetically, painting, repairing things, just to try to keep things up and operational.
You have a comment or a question? All right, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Safety and security.
Safety and security report this month, and for the next few months, I'll be coming to you with a safety audit report. This month, it is Columbia High School. It was, there's nothing in, this is it. It was attached, should be attached in board book. So due to the contents of this safety report, I'm not gonna go over all 120 pages. However, I am gonna go over the findings and the highlights. Everything is in there, just so you know. The actual report will be on top, followed by the template that we're required to use from Texas School Safety Center. And then behind that is the staff surveys, the student surveys, and the parent surveys that we did for the campus. And then after that are some questionnaires that were sent out to specific staff members just to get their idea of where we were in regards to school safety. So I promise you I'm not going to go through all 120 pages. I'm just going to highlight some of the key points because we're required by law. Just so you know, the safety audit is something we have to do every 3 years. This is the 23-26 cycle, and we have to give a report on our findings to the board, and so that's why we're here. So this safety and security audit we held for Columbia High School in December of 2025. You can see on the front of that, if you're looking at it, the members that were a part of the team. The first thing that we required to look at was the intruder assessment. So for the past few years, Columbia High School, since TEA has started doing intruder assessments, they have never failed. So the last intruder assessment at this facility was conducted on September 2nd, 2025 at 10 a.m. by Adam Tanner from Region 4, and the results were as follows. There's no findings. Part of the audit is an entrance conference with administrators, which we held in December. and I'm not going to go over the answers, but if you want to take the time to read them, some of the questions that were asked were, what are the most pressing safety needs at this facility? What safety activities does the facility do best? What safety topics are important to students? What safety activities do they feel like they need to most improve? What are some of the barriers to keep the campus from being safe? And then what type of problems they're likely to encounter? What types of situations might cause staff and students to be fearful? And other positive comments regarding safety. So if you're following along now, I'm on the 3rd page, and I'm going to skip down to the bottom of the 3rd page. It says documents reviewed. So these were the documents that we reviewed in conducting the safety audit. First thing was aerial photography of the campus or facility, which we have done every year by CRG. I bring those to you, or I let you know in safety meetings that we get those done every year. After action review documents, anytime we have any drills or emergency procedures that we do. Bomb threat procedures. We do have staff that has protocols that they keep by their desk. We went over that. Building maps, of course. Campus discipline referral data. Campus or facility improvement plans. Campus site plans, our campus behavior threat assessment data, campus emergency response plans. We get to the climate survey. So right here in the report, I did include some information from the climate surveys. I did attach the whole climate surveys in the very back. So if you want a quick synopsis, so for the climate surveys, for the student survey, we had 186 responses, which out of high school, even though there's 900 kids, I think that's the most we've ever had. So there's just some things on there. I'm not going to go through all of them, and then there's some comments that they actually did make. I tried to include some of the serious ones, but I did include some of the other ones just to get a fair representation of everything. For the parent responses for Columbia High School, we only had 61 responses. Something that we see as we go up at the high school, the parent involvement goes down. We only had 61 responses there. And then for the faculty survey responses, we had 41. And so there's some data there that you can look at if you'd like to. It's just basically a culture survey. How do you feel? Strongly agree, mildly agree, disagree, and then the opportunity for them to give some suggestions. Some other things that we used when we did or looked at when we were doing the audit was the district's multi-hazard emergency operation plan, which you've heard me talk about, which we send it to the state every year, and it's approved by Texas School Safety Center. Our drill documentation, emergency contact numbers for our responding agencies, evacuation plans, our faculty and staff call tree, our faculty and staff handbook, our reunification plans, our safety training documents, our school safety and security committee documents, staff and student ID policy, staff communication protocol, our code of conduct, our handbook, our visitor policies, and our weekly sweep data. So that was all the materials that we used when we went over this. In looking at the facilities and the area surrounding the facility, you'll see that there were some risk factors. Mainly the biggest one is the highway right outside. So that's our #1 risk factor at Columbia High School. That, and additionally, the highway is also under construction. So those are the two biggest ones. There's some other things listed there of for example, the fourth dot doesn't help the first and second dot because that would be the businesses that are located across the highway that's under construction that our kids like to go to. But there's some other things listed in there. Of our on-site observations, so what we do is we go around, we have this Excel template that's included in your document, and we go around looking at things, and it's yes, no, not applicable. And so from those on-site observations, I'm not going to go through all of them, but for example, number one, we looked at the grounds and the building exterior, and in that little paragraph there, it's just a synopsis of the things that we had found. There were some other, you can see there's other things that we looked at, like ground and building exterior, access control and visitor procedures, keys and identification, building interior, monitoring and surveillance, school-based law enforcement and security, securing the facility after operations, student code of conduct, disciplinary procedures, parental and parent-student involvement, reporting systems that we have, our general climate, staff training, student training, health practices, food services, and referral resources for our students. Then we had to do it again for some other things, just for instructional facility. I'm going to skip over that because essentially it's the same thing, except that also includes, well, let me say that. It includes some other things. Some of it's the same, but like the buses and parking, is our busing area safe? Building access after hours, our locked and controlled areas like our maintenance rooms, our nurse's office, those types of things, cafeteria, our gyms, locker rooms and weight rooms, our laboratories and our science classes and labs up to code, the auditorium and the shops. We also had to do it for our outdoor sports or other venues, so that is actually for. We did that for the softball field and for the baseball field. And in that, we were looking at a lot of the same things, like emergency preparedness, student behavior and monitoring, and facility observations. And then we also had to do it for Griggs Field as well. And it's the same thing. So we go through the checklist, we check things that are there and check things that aren't there. And then we did surveys and interviews, and so a lot of that is office staff, people that are dealing with people coming in on a regular basis. Do they know what our visitor procedures are? Do they know what to do whenever, in the event a sex offender comes on campus and wants to go eat lunch with their student? Do they know what those procedures are? Do they know what their role is in regards to emergency preparedness at Columbia High School? Do the counselors know resources to provide if a student comes in that needs something, those types of things. And so basically what you see here are relevant comments and surveys from our people that we interviewed. Some of the commendations from the interviews were, number one, all office staff are aware and follow visitor procedures. They know them well. Counselors know what they're doing. They're able to connect stakeholders to resources and outside agencies to meet their needs. And our campus nurse coordinates with staff and other campuses to meet the health needs of students. They know what's going on and they do a good job. As far as the recommendations there, some of our office staff weren't sure what their role was in regards to school emergencies. So that's important to know when we're developing the training schedule for next year. And then you see some of the office staff, and you see office staff will receive training on school emergencies at the start of the year. And the staff will be trained in de-escalation techniques because that was something that came up amongst staff as well. Then you have a list for every little thing that we went over, like intruder assessment, there's a list of commendations there and a list of recommendations. But I'm going to go all the way to where it says, in summary, based on the recommendations listed above, the audit team presents this prioritized list of recommendations for this facility. So from this audit, this is what we're bringing to you as recommendations. Number one was numbering all exterior doors. Well, the reason why it hadn't been done is because they were still building it. When it was fully released, it now has exterior. If you drive around, you'll see there's exterior door numbers on all the exterior doors. So that's actually been completed already. The next thing was to our campus maps. for our emergency responders was something we'll need to do next year, is adding exterior door numbers to the campus map. Next, we need to add locations of our Stop the Bleed stations to the campus map. That's something that the other campuses have on their maps. For whatever reason, we don't have it at the high school. A big problem that we've discovered, and we've kind of known about it, but it's getting out of hand, is disposal of old chemicals in the science department. So when all the chemicals that we use for labs and stuff, there's some there that they need to be disposed of, and it needs to be done pretty quick too. We need to add additional Stop the Bleed stations to the new building, because we have what we need, but they're a little spread out. So we need to add some more to make sure that they're accessible for everybody. One additional thing is with the new stairwells, we need to add additional striker chairs to the new wing because of the stairwells. For those of you who don't know, striker chairs are what we use to get handy people in wheelchairs downstairs in the event of emergency. We only have one. We probably need another one. So one thing that came up through interviews is that nobody knows who the CPR and first aid responders are on campus other than the administrators, and that's might be important for the teachers seem to feel like that's important that they know who they need to go to if they need help. Include all office staff in the beginning of the year safety trainings. Ensure that all office staff knows what their expectation is in the event of an emergency, and create student, staff, parent safety committees to discuss issues in the safety survey. One of the things that a parent brought up, and they've already brought it up in the West Brazos, is that I wish they would form a safety committee at the campus level and be invited so that they could say these things face to face and have a discussion. So that's not a bad idea. It's not bad to have student representation on those so that the administrators can get information that they need. So having said that, that's all I have. That's a lot of information and a lot of documents. I know everybody read every page of that when they were preparing for the meeting, but I did make sure to include the surveys because I know people were wanting to see the results of the surveys. Those are included in there. Everything that we use document-wise is in that packet. So if you want to look through it, feel free to. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me later. You can ask me questions now. You can, if you see something that you don't understand, you can reach out to me. I will be bringing another one to you next month, the junior high audit. It won't be as long because it's not as much to look at, but it'll still be pretty lengthy. So with that, I give back my time.
How many AEDs do in a new building? Do we add any when we put the?
We had plenty. We have plenty. Yeah, we have plenty. Matter of fact, last year, y'all actually, either last year or the year before, I can't remember, as part of a safety initiative, y'all bought us brand new AEDs. So we have all new AEDs throughout the district.
And that's part of training in the CPR.
But not only certain staff are identified for that. Coaches, people, special ed teachers. Not every.
Not everybody has to take the training, yeah.
This is an annual assessment, or you gotta do this annually?
This is a 3-year assessment.
3 years,
yes, sir.
Did they give you an overall rating, or does that come?
There is no rating. Now, we will be getting, when TEA, because we've been selected for a vulnerability audit, we'll get recommendations from the state. I brought that up in the last board meeting during the safety report. They're gonna come in, it's not a gotcha, it's here's what we expect, let's see what you do. And if you don't, here's what you need to do to get it right. Because there's a lot of stuff out there. Anybody else?
Question? All right, thank you, Mr. Miller. Instructional update?
The first thing we have for you, attached in there, Cody, if you'll click on the first attachment, the board report. This is a document that you see this time every year. This is our planning document. Again, just a reminder, the column to the left, it shows what testing area. That would be in the gray and the white shaded. The next column is goal R1. That is the goal for release testing round number 1 that we set before the testing. Release number 1 that was taken in December, that's your scores based on the release, so you can look at how they did versus what their goal was. Goal 2 for release testing number 2 that will be done in February and March is there for you as well. And then it moves into the green columns. You can see that star testing from going back at that grade level or that testing area from 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025 this past year. And then actually what the goal is for testing this summer. And of course, you see when you come back when we get to the April timeframe, we'll bring this document back to you that will have the release test 2 scores. And then again, at the end of the year, when we provide score data, you'll be able to look at our goals and see if we met our goals.
Somebody have any questions?
So the Gold Star 2026, that's
your final. That's your final, yes.
That just happened here in January
No. Goal 2026 is what we want for this spring.
for the end of the year.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right.
Okay. Cody, if you'll click on the next link is Senate Bill 11. So I provided some of this information to you in board letter. So Senate Bill 11, the most recent legislature requires you to take a board vote on whether or not to add a time during the school day, instructional day, for staff and students to pray and read the Bible or any other religious text of their choice. So the state just requires you to take a vote, yes or no. So the second page of that attachment is the resolution. So we'll be placing this resolution on the February board agenda for you to either vote for or vote against. If you, or not take a vote, right? It has to be on the agenda. So however that works out. If you choose to vote it in, then we would work with TASB to create that local policy, because you would have to decide what time it's going to be, how long it's going to be, what the processes are. What happened, again, you got all these questions, right? I mean, you're a senior that doesn't, if it's first period of the day, but you're a senior that doesn't come to school first period, do you still get a time? You know what I mean? There's all these questions that have to be answered. So I have no idea what that entails until you either vote yes or no. Okay, so that'll be on the February board agenda.
So this is not anything they do out loud. This is just a time for students to do whatever privately.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, right. It's not a lesson. We don't create lessons, right? It's an individual only type thing where you would give them time to do whatever they want to do, right?
It's in instructional time.
It would be during the school day, yes. You would have to give them during the school day. I kind of see this as one of those times is it going to be the last 10 minutes of lunch? You know what I mean? I don't know. Are you taking time out of English class to do this? Don't know what those steps are going to be. Those will be choices. We just need to know whether we want to do it or not. That's right.
All right, well, we have questions. We don't know the answers yet.
We don't, and that's, again, we don't know the answers because the board just says you have to take a vote by March the 1st, right? And so, again,
So I guess maybe TASB knows if anybody else has done this and if they've got some idea of other policies that other districts have done.
correct. That is correct. We don't have again, you don't see an implementation date. You just see you have to take a vote by.
Yeah.
And so there'll be just like anytime we create a local policy, there'll be a worksheet where we meet, we go through, we decide how we want to do it. And yes, like Linda said, TASB will have other districts they're working with, and so mostly each district will be using that same play sheet to make choices.
All right, well, that's coming up next month.
Yep.
Okay. Property and liability coverage. Is that you, Miss Julie?
Yes. Y'all should have a paper.
What did I say?
We can do it and come back.
Accountability.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
Go ahead, Julie. If you look in your folder, you do have a stapled handout, looks like this, 2 pages, landscape.
The first page is our property and windstorm insurance renewal. So you'll see in the first column, it shows our expiring policy for 25-26 and the building contents and value. And then you'll see in the the next 3 are the options they've given us. Now, the first column, the renewal option number 1, that's pretty much what we have now, except our named storm deductible is at 5% instead of 7.5. He said that there was no premium reduction if we took the 7.5, if, we wanted that, but the 5% it was the same cost for either one. So your deductible actually went down, and you'll see our premium went down as well. Option 2.
And our content value went up.
Yes, our content value went
But
up for
it doesn't really matter though, because it's 20 million per.
Exactly. I don't get that.
You put 500 million on there, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Well, they said it does.
Really?
I don't know how they figured in it, but he said that does matter. The reason I say that is when we put phase 2 in, we had an increase, we had to pay a lot more money. So when you look at this 820,000, we really paid more than that last year, because they did hit us, I thought, pretty significantly on. I'll have to look it up to tell you the number, but.
And we didn't have a choice, because we were taking occupancy of the building midway through.
Yeah. And so then they also gave us options if we wanted to increase it to 25 million or 30 million. And you can see the difference in premiums down there on your total premiums.
Yeah, we're bringing this to you tonight. Again, it's not an action item tonight, it's a discussion item. It will be on next month's board agenda, because I want to say March 1 is when it takes effect, right? So we need to have it approved in the February agenda or schedule a special meeting.
And so if y'all have any other options y'all want me to ask them on coverages, we still have time to go back and ask them to give us different premiums or different
What's your opinion? I mean,
losses.
I don't know if it's worth an extra $45,000 to get $5 extra million worth of coverage. I mean, what's your opinion on that?
I don't know. I don't know the choice. I mean, to me, when we built the new building, I thought over here, I would have increased it.
Right.
But that's my only concern, is if you have more than one building, you have 20 million coverage, and that's it. Is the difference in premium worth it? I don't know. I mean, you're looking at another $40,000. Only if you need it. Exactly. So, that's 2 salaries for our.
You can go back and, we remember hurricanes that have come in, take you back to Rockport when they had that damage, is that there was no way the insurance they had was going to pay. It wound up being a unified effort, which required bond election. It was a multiple thing to be able to get them, because they just couldn't do it. Unless you were valued for penny, you just can't do it if it's severe, right?
The question, I mean, so this won't even cover any roofs on the buildings.
So that's true. Are there anything y'all would like for me to go back and say, what would this cost? him lowering it to them lowering it to 5% for your, deductible. That was the first thing I asked, is what was the savings? And
When they say 500K minimum, that, we have to pay 500K minimum
no matter what.
no matter what. So,
The 5% would come in as if you had a total loss on something.
Oh, okay.
And so you would
Anything over
be
the 5.
getting the whole 20 million, you would have to pay a 5% deductible on that.
we need to talk about that because, I mean, we have a whole.
5% on the damages? 5% of what?
5% of your damages. Yeah. So if your damage is $1 million, you'd pay 5% of that.
Well, it's one of those things you buy and hope you don't have to use it.
Amen.
And then on the second page is our auto liability and renewal. You'll also see the premiums that we paid last year to this year. It did go up about $12,000. That was tied to our liability, our claims that we've had over the last year. That was the increase. Most of it happened in our auto liability. So that was a claims relief. I think we had several bus accidents last year. So that ties to that.
And this will come up next month too?
Yes, it comes up next month as well.
Anybody got any questions, concerns, comments? We all love insurance. Okay, let's back up to accountability report. Getting ahead of myself.
Good, if you would, click on the attachment 2025 RDA mask. Ms. Jennifer?
So, RDA, results-driven accountability, really is about monitoring performance for our special populations. So there's 3 main groups that are evaluated through this system. That's your emergent bilingual English language learners. Other special populations include your military-connected foster kids and homeless kids, and then your special education. Most of what they're looking at is going to be about STAR scores. So if you'll scroll to the next page. So you'll see different groups broken out. So number 1 is about students that are in a bilingual education program. We don't have a certified bilingual education program because we operate under a waiver because our teachers are not certified. So you'll see that actually in number 3. So if you'll scroll up just a little bit, if we can see 2 and 3. So 2 is our ESL students. That really is going to be just your junior high, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And then the ALP is the alternative learning program that we have for those students in kinder through 5th grade that should be in a bilingual program. But again, since we do not have certified teachers, we have a waiver to provide an alternative program. You'll see the first column, when they do RDA, they break it up into performance level groups. So the first one, and it goes 0 to 4, and 0 is good. 0 means you hit the goal that they have for you, and 4 means you're really, really off from the goal that the state has set. So the first column, it says PL0, performance level 0, is the goal that they want us to get to. They want 70% of our students that are in an ESL program to pass the STAR math test. So that's what that first line is telling you. And passing for RDA is talking about approaches. So some of our accountability we do on meets, but this is about approaches. So you'll see, looking at our ESL scores, which is mostly, again, our junior high, the far right column tells us our performance level. So we had 29.8% of our emergent bilingual students pass the math test. They wanted us to be at 70%. So we got in performance level 3 out of 4. Okay, so we are not doing well. They're concerned about the performance of our English language learners on the STAR test. That's pretty consistent throughout. You'll get to your number 4 is your EBs that are not served in a bilingual program or an ESL program. That's your kids that are parent denials. And they also look at the years after reclassification. We don't have enough students in either one of those categories. That's why you see the asterisks for them to show those. When we get all the way to the end, they'll talk about what our overall determination level is based on how many performance levels we have. So again, our EB, we're at 3 out of 4, fairly concerned about that progress. When you get down to the bottom, we have a determination level of 2. Again, those can also go from 1 to 4. Determination level 2 tells us what level of support TEA is going to provide to us for this. When you get up into 3 and 4, that's when TEA meets with you every month, and you have to turn in a plan, and they meet with you every month to talk about how well you're following your plan to try to get better. Our EBs ended up at a level 2. Level 2 means you still have to have a plan because you need to do better. And we just keep it at the local level. If they ask for it, we would have it to present to them, but it's left up to local monitoring. One of the things that Samantha and I brought in this year to help address this concern for our emergent bilingual students is 7 Steps to a Language-Rich Classroom. So that's a training that we've brought to all 5 campuses to help all of your classroom teachers with strategies that can help students be more successful in the classroom and access the curriculum. So we have ongoing training in that area, and we're continuing to collect data regarding that. So the other thing, our other special populations, the second group, is very small. There's not a lot of students. We don't get a lot of hits on that because we don't have a lot of military-connected families or foster and homeless students. So I'm going to skip down to the special education, which is an ongoing thing. So again, and Cody, I'm on about page 8. Yes, sir. So again, the first couple of indicators are all about passing STAR. But I'm just going to preview that with, we do a really good job of exiting our kids that are able to be successful without support. So the students that are left in special ed are those students that really they have a lot of needs. So it does not surprise me that we are not at the states where the state thinks we should be. But we do, looking at supporting our kids on STAR is something that we focus on frequently. So past the STAR sections, going into page 11, 10 and 11, there's a couple of other indicators that they look at for our SPED programs. We have great graduation rates for our special ed kids. Hardly any dropouts. We do a great job to get them to their post-secondary goals. The next page is talking basically about inclusion. Do we give students opportunities to participate in other things outside of just a special ed classroom? And we do a good job of those. You can see we have 1s and 0s in those areas. And the last thing that they really look at is discipline. We have some, that's been an ongoing issue for us for a number of years to focus on the discipline of special ed students, especially African Americans with their total disciplinary removal. So we look at significant disproportionality. It's a long, complicated equation to figure out those statistics. But basically it means that our African American special ed students are being removed from the classroom for either ISS, DAEP, whatever, at a much higher rate than other ethnicities. So we've been doing a lot of work around that and putting a lot of attention on how do we support students without penalizing them? One of the things that's very difficult is when you have students that are commit certain offenses, we want them to be removed from the classroom. When you have kids that are fighting, they cannot stay in the classroom. So, that's an ongoing issue that, that we just can't do anything about. I will say, though, that this data is 2 years behind. So what we got graded on this year was actually discipline data from 2023. My estimation is that our discipline data from last year, we will not have significant disproportionality. Our two administrative groups did a great job focusing on that and looking at strategies and ways that they could support students so that our numbers have come down in that area. So I anticipate that next year we will be in a good place with our discipline data. Knock on wood, hoping. So again, in all of our areas, we're at a determination level 2, which means that we are going to continue to work on continuous improvement. We're going to continue to plan and to bring things to staff to help them know how to better support our students. But at this time, we're not needing to turn in anything to TEA or have TEA visits. Any questions about any of that? Okay.
All right. So the next part of this is what's called the TAPER report, which is the Texas Academic Performance Report, and we are required each year to place this on the agenda so that it can be reviewed. So it is a report item. You've seen this before. Cody, if you click on and we're doing the district one, that is it. So you've seen this format before. We've talked about, Cody, if you would go to page 3. So I'm gonna start on page 3 and kind of walk you through here. Each year that we do this, kind of give you point out some goods and bads, and sometimes we find things that make us look bad, but then it turns around and the same data makes us look good. So Cody, page 3.
It decided to move.
There you go. All right, so page 3, if you can see, the first thing is that, well, if you can see it on your computers.
The computer's being crazy. I don't like this touchpad.
All right, you go in a little bit more. There you go, that's fine, good enough. So go up to the very top. There you go, grade 3. So you can see the top, grade 3 to the left, the first line below, approaches. There's your score of 2025. So just looking at it, you can see that the state scored in 3rd grade reading at the approaches level, scored a 77%. You can see we scored at a 79%, all right? What do we have? Our board goals and superintendent goals are set up for the last few years to make the best 3rd grade student we can, right? So you would have to say our goal has always been we want to be at or above state average. So there you go, looks good. Something remarkable, if you look right across that, you can see you see a 75%, a 78%, and 79%. That's your testing percentage for your 3 major ethnic groups: African Americans, Hispanics, and whites. Most of the time, you see huge discrepancies between those. You would have to say that you should feel pretty good about that. If you'll skip down to 3rd grade math, just down there, 2025, you can see that the state scored at approaches at a 71% level. You can see we're at a 75% level. Good, above state average. You look across, you see the 75%, the 72%, the 77%. Again, you should feel good that all your kids are being taught the same, right? They're all being held accountable to the same. And that's a good thing, right? Something I'll point out to you, I've showed you that at the approaches level for 3rd grade reading and math, if you go down to 4th grade reading, you can see that the state's at an 81, we're at an 81. Nice. If you go down again, 4th grade math, you'll see the state was at a 69 and we were at a 74. So when you look at, is making a better 3rd grade student showing, right? And so as you can, if you'll go to the next page, Cody, page 4. Listen, I'll take you all the way to fifth grade math. If you go to fifth grade math, which is right there at the top, you can see the state was at a 74, we're at a 65. And so we have, again, they were third graders years ago, but we can't lose sight of that, all right? So it kind of shows you, it kind of shows you where we're at. Anyway, just kind of show you, there's no way we can, this is a 50-page report. There's no way we can do everything. There's so much data here. I just wanted to give you that so that you can kind of show you what you can do. Again, you can see it shows you 2024 and 2025. So if you wanted to take the fourth grade in 2025, you could go back to third grade in 2024. You can cross-check a year, right, to see how things were going and how we're doing, seeing if our scores went up, did we improve? Did the state improve as well, or did the state go down and we improved and we were opposite of the trend? So anyway, pages 4, 5, and 6 take you through that. Go to page 6, please. I want to give special attention at the bottom of page 6. You got English, end of course English 1. You can see English course end of 1 this past year, 2025. The state was at a 69, we were at a 63. If you go to the meets level at 2025, state was at 49, we're at 38. And the master's level, state was at 15, we were at 7. If you drop down to English 2, 2025, you can see the state's at 72, we're at 77. You can see at the meets level, the state is at 55 and we're at 59. And if you go to the master's level there, you can see the state was at 8 and we're at 9. So anyway, just kind of giving you some information that you can use. To keep pointing some things out to you, Cody, if you'll go to page 12. So page 12, this is a list, and this first part it's called School Progress. It's annual growth by grade or subject. And what this is the percentage of students that grew a year or more. Meaning, if you went from third grade to fourth grade, just to score the same, you have to grow a year. Does that make sense? So you have to grow a year from third grade to fourth grade. But if you grew at least a year and or possibly more, that's what this student grows. So if you go to kind of highlights, it gives you the state and the district as well. So if you go to fourth grade math, you can see that the state, 65% of the kids at the state level grew a year or more, and CBISD 66% grew a year or more. And that shows you. So I pointed out end of course English 2, if you go down to English core English 2, you can see that the state, 65% of the kids grew a year or more in English 2, and CBISD and at Columbia High School, 78% of the kids grew. And so data sometimes does show you, do certain teachers make a difference? And this gives you the data to find that information, right? You can't necessarily make a decision in the heat of the moment, right around testing time, but now that you've separated ourselves and we're down the road, we can definitely have the data now to go back and look and see, and are we paying attention to those things? Okay. The bottom part of that takes you school progress, accelerated learning by grade or subject. This one's important because what this does, this identifies students who the year before did not meet, meaning they failed, right? And then this year, they either got approaches or better, meets or masters. So they passed, right? So did not pass to passed. And so if it takes you through that, you can see at the fourth grade level, again.
What page we on?
Huh?
What page we on?
We're on page 12, bottom of page 12.
The little grade area across the bottom of that.
At very bottom. So you see fourth grade ELA reading, 2025, 40% at the state level, meaning 40% of the kids who failed. Of the kids who failed, 40% passed, at least passed the next year, right, this year. CBISD, we exceeded that at 44%. And so if you walk down,
So is that 40% of third graders that failed?
third
that
grade,
passed
third grade failed,
Okay.
moved to fourth grade.
And then they passed?
Right, so
Okay.
of that group that failed, 44% passed, right? Made growth, right? So it kind of shows you, are we following state trends, right? These are things that we, right, up above the campus, we look at that. Data tells you a story of what's going on, right? We're a year away, or from this data is actually showing you 2 years away at third grade level, right? Because that kid was in third grade when he failed. This is showing he passed in fourth grade, the kid's in fifth grade now. So he's in fifth grade, we're looking all the way back to his third grade year, right? So we're 2 years removed and we're looking at data, right? And now you have to fill in the blanks of what is that telling you? And so one of the things you can do, Cody, is if you'll move to page 13, that chart continues and go down to end of course English 2, 2025. And you can see that at the state level in English course, 29% of the kids who failed English 1 moving up passed, but in CBISD, 52%.
Yeah, but English 1's, look at English 1, so, yeah.
Yeah, that tells you a story, all right? It tells you a story of what's happening at English 2, all right? That is the data. All right, if you'll move to page 24, Cody. Find this interested, the state has many different criteria that they call college ready. And so we're looking at annual graduates. And if you'll notice along the side, doesn't say 24, 25, it's 23, 24, because we're 2 years behind the matrix when it comes to the way this happens. If you'll remember us talking about college and career readiness and them changing the standards, why the accountability lawsuit is because the data was already submitted and they were changing the rules and you had no way to go back and do anything about it. So anyway, look at college readiness. And so in 2023, 2024, the state's showing that 70% of by the criteria the state used, that 70% of the students in the state were college ready, but yet they're showing in CBISD that 34.7 were ready. Don't believe that. It's the criteria below, right? So you're looking at TSI graduates, and then the next one you have down under TSI is the ABIB. That's, we don't do that. We don't run that program. We're all in dual credit. And so you can see that when that's a judgment criteria, we don't stack up good in that criteria because we go all in with dual credit, right? We're not at an advanced placement school. If you'll drop down, dual credit, dual course credits in any subject, annual graduates, you'll see that 25.1 of the students in the state get that, but yet the graduating class, 27.7 at Columbia High School. So our kids aren't college ready, but we take more dual credit than the state average. So that's what I'm saying, that's what I'm showing you. You have to know what the data and what it's looking like, because you wouldn't think, looking at the top number, that bottom number would be that, right?
You would think dual credit would help them be college ready.
You're right, but it's how you do it.
There's rules to it.
There's rules to it.
Just
right?
because you take a dual credit class doesn't mean you're college ready. There's rules to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't see the rules. The rules are hidden. And when you read it, you go, that don't make sense. And that's what we say, right? I'm just showing you that the data that you're talking about shows that only 34%, but yet our kids take more dual credit than kids in the state. Interesting. So, keeping on, go to the bottom of page 24. I want to show you this one, right there at the very bottom. Career military readiness graduates. The state, 38.1, CBISD, 65.3. So if you go all the way back to the top, you wouldn't think, all of a sudden the points are turning a different way, right?
And that's the one that really counts.
And that's the one that really counts.
That one's the
Right.
really, because that's calculated straight into your accountability. The other one's not so much. That one is.
Right. So keep going down, right there. So now we're on page, what is this, page 25? So right there at the top, approved industry-based certifications, annual graduates. The state, 34.9, CBISD, 58.4. Right? So,
They've changed it.
yeah, right.
That'll be going.
The rules have changed, right? Again, the rules have changed.
Got good at it.
Yeah.
They make it harder.
Yeah. So the other one at the bottom, so you know, things that look at it, and so some things tell you about your community, right? So look at the very bottom, U.S. Armed Forces Enlistment, annual graduates. The state, 0.7, CBISD, 3%. I'm just saying, there are some things that tell you about the values of your community, right? So anyway, I wanted to show you those things. Couple other things. Go to page 28. So let's go all the way back to talking about that 34% college-ready graduates, right? So if you look towards the bottom, you see graduates enrolled in Texas institutions of higher education. And it shows you the 2022 graduating class, okay? So what this happens is TEA has a way to go back and follow our kids wherever they go, okay? So this is not something we've done. This is something that they followed the class of 22 out, and you can see that the state averaged of that enrolled in, right? Not completed, but enrolled in. You can see that the state was 47.6, we were 59.4. Right? Don't know whether they completed or not, but we have evidence that they did. Right? We started them off. We don't know what happened after that. But we have said forever that in this district, on an average, 50% of our graduating class goes to some type of college. Of that 50%, 50% goes to Brazosville College. And the data is pretty close to that. And again, that shows you that 50% of a yearly class of graduates going to college. It fluctuates, right? Maybe 1 year 60, 1 year 40, but it stays there.
What makes up an economically disadvantaged? Why are they, I mean, that's a pretty good percentage right there. What do they consider economically disadvantaged?
Again, it would be free and reduced lunch.
Okay.
So if you go to page 29, Cody. So 29, that of last year's graduating class, or of all the students in CBISD, that's your lay of the land, right? Tells you how many kids, your total pupil projections, how many you had in each grade level. Shows you towards the bottom, it shows your ethnic distribution breakdown. Right. So you can see under ethnic distribution, you can see that if somebody asks you what's the breakdown of CBISD, you can see we're at 56% white, we're 33% Hispanic, and 6% African American. That's your data. Other student cohorts at the bottom, if somebody had you, Ms. Reed just asked, what is the percentage of academic or economically disadvantaged students in CBISD? Almost 64% total. That's of last, of last year, right? So, anyway, if you turn to page 30, should be the next page. You're looking at the middle students by instructional program, right there in the middle. You can see the first one I'll highlight to you. It says career and technology education, grades 9 through 12 only. 84.7 of our kids at grade 9 to 12 are involved in career and technology education. Drop down, special education, what Jennifer was just talking about. You can see that 18.5% of our kids in CBISD are special education at this time. Page 31. That's retention by grades. Go down to the bottom, Cody, right there. Class sizes. Somebody wants to ask you, what does the overall data that was submitted by PEAMS tell you about CBISD? It would tell you that in kindergarten, the average size class was 19.8, grade 1, 21.2, grade 2, 20.1, grade D, 18.3, grade 4, 21.1, grade 5, 20.8, grade 6, 18, and then at the secondary level of what those are. That's not every teacher, but that's the district statistics based on the teachers that we turn in, and what they teach and how they teach versus the kids through PEAMS as well. All right. Now, again, if a principal chooses to not put an English teacher in a certain class and give them this and give them that, they're in PEAMS as an English teacher, right? So there could be some things that individual principals make a decision to do that could cause the data to be distorted. But this is what the PEAMS gives you. Okay. Page 32 gives you our staff information last year. Tells you how many staff we had, number of teachers, professional support, school leadership with Beach Campus Administration, central administration, auxiliary staff, and so forth. Very bottom, it tells you teachers by experience. One of the things I'd like to highlight here is if you look at teachers by experience, you look at beginning teachers, then 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30, and over 30. If you'll notice, the bulk is 6 to 20. That's solid. Several years ago, you may remember looking at this, and it was all of them were 21 to 30 and 0 to 5. So that's a shift. That's a good thing, right? So when you look at this, that's a good thing, that your strength's in the middle. Page 33 kind of shows you experience with your administrative staff, teaching salaries, averages, and so forth. Okay. So a lot of information. Just wanted to take you through the district, point some highs and lows. And then also attached, we do have the taper reports for each individual campus that you can take and do that as well. So what we just gave you was the composite for the district. Okay.
It's a lot of info.
It is.
It's good though. I mean, every
is.
question you have is somewhere in this report. Does anybody have a question? All right. In the right order, it's the quarterly investment report.
Okay, so starting back in July, our interest rates we're earning were anywhere from 5.3 to 4.3, and they've dropped now to about 3.8. The highest one is Texas class, which we have the majority of our money in, is 3.9. So we are on schedule to meet what we budgeted for interest income. I think we're about $6,000 off right now, so we'll go over budget on our revenue. But you can see it's going down about where we have our money, about $10,000, and our biggest one from the beginning of the year, the interest that we're not getting, the 2%. That's what it equates to. So right now, for the year, we have a total of $565,000 in investment income, with about $261 being in the bond. Any questions?
Most likely, interest rates are probably gonna still go down, so we're gonna lose, over time, we'll lose more revenue, correct? I mean, that's prediction looking like.
Right. That's why I was showing the difference in some of these, were anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a month was decreasing. But we're still, like I said, we'll still be over budget this year, what we budgeted. It'll just be when we do the budget, we'll have to show a decrease in what we usually get.
Anybody have any questions? Is everybody still awake? All right. Financial report.
And that's also in your packet. It shows on the actual to budget right now that in revenue, we're about 36% that we've actually collected in our revenue. We're running about the same as we were last year. We're running a little higher in what we're getting on our local sources and a little lower on our state. So it pretty much evens out. Including our TRS on behalf that isn't included in here, we're at about 48% of our budget, and we've gone past, we're right over 50% for the year. So we're about 2% under budget for our expenses.
All right, one more time, 2% over budget or under?
Under.
Under budget.
Under, on our general fund expenses. Any questions?
Anybody have a question?
I have too many numbers in my head.
All right. All right. We'll go to the bond update.
So things are coming to a close at high school. We're actually finished. We're into the warranty work at Columbia High School. So we're done. A few issues to take care of, push gates, some keys, that kind of stuff. So we're doing pretty good there. We have moved on to the Ag Barn. So Ag Barn is progressing. So if you'll remember in that budget that we approved, the $2.5 million, it did have some contingency allowance money. The first thing that's happened is when there were drilling of 40 piers underneath that slab. And so when they drilled the first two piers and they took the drill out, the holes collapsed because of the water intrusion. And so we were able to spend about another $40,000 to add what's called slurry. It's kind of just a thick mud concrete to it that was able to allow them to get those poured. And so we're fine, we're still under budget. That contingency money was there for specifically that reason. The engineers were stumped because, and Greg and I were having this conversation earlier, when they drilled the test holes that deep in June, everything was fine. And it's just the water tables. And when I was telling him, if y'all remember, those of you on the board, many years ago when we did the turf in the track, and we had to resurface, redo the track and mill the asphalt, we run into the same water intrusion where we wound up drilling 2-foot test holes all the way around lane 1. And all the ones at the southern end filled with water and all the ones on the north end were dry. And so we wound in putting in a French drain all the way around lane 1 to solve that problem. It was that same thing. Nobody could tell us why the water level was like that. And it's the same thing in Wild Peach. So anyway, it's getting built, it's fine. We had the money, it was budgeted appropriately, and we're moving on. So we're doing good out there.
Looks good. All right, Texas Incentive Allotment Report.
All right, so we went into what was called TIA, if you'll remember, Texas Teacher Incentive Allotment. We talked about this, and one of the things is that this was a way to pay our teachers that are doing a really good job and allow them to earn more money, right? Then basically it's a reward by the state. So anyway, so Wendy, Sam, and Jennifer are gonna kind of just want you to know where we're at in this process, okay?
So at this point, we collected data. Last year was our data capture year, so we collected data on teacher observations, their teaching in the classroom, and student outcomes, student growth measures. Put that all in this huge spreadsheet. We turned it in to TEA. They have a data analysis process that they go through that apparently is so in-depth it takes them like 8 months to do it. So we've turned in our part. They will tell us sometime in April if they approve the teachers that we put forth, as we think they did a great job based on the data that we have. We do have teachers that we're hoping to get some money. We're just waiting again on that final approval from TEA on our data. When they give us that final approval in April that we're expecting, the teachers that are identified will get two payouts, half of the money in May and half of the money in August. We are required by law to give them all of the money that they're due by August 31st. So we will have that. In the meantime, we are busy collecting data again this year because we hope to have some more people to be able to submit for the following year. And in addition, we are working on an expansion application to make that opportunity available to some additional teachers in our district.
Right now, it's math and ELA, math and English reading.
And classroom teachers only.
Right. Tested at, kindergarten through grade 10, English too, right? So, anyway, state, we don't control the analysis. They look at the data statewide, the money available. They decide at what level you earn money, how much you earn. And so we'll be hopefully notified of that in April, and hopefully we have some that will be receiving that. Okay.
So do you have to go through this process every year?
Yes.
And you'll nominate the same?
So, so the teacher, for the teachers that get approved this year, they will have their designation for 5 years on their teaching certificate. There are, this year there were 3 levels that they could get. Next year there will be 4 that the state has identified. Recognized, I can't even remember. Acknowledged, masters and exemplary, or vice versa. Four different designations, 4 levels. Each come with different amounts of money. So every year a teacher can be put forth to go up a level. Like if their growth increases the following level, then we can put them forward for a new higher designation. Mm-hmm. Those teachers then at the top, they keep that for 5 years, and then that 4th year we can submit them for another 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But we submit data every year. I'm sorry, what was
get the one payout?
No, they would get it every year.
Oh, okay.
Every year for the 5 years.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a limit on how many you could recommend?
No, ma'am.
So
but that is part of the things that they look at in the data analysis. So if you submitted all of your teachers, they would go like, what's going on over there?
Yeah. We think they're all great. That's
We
what's
do.
going on.
We do. Yes, ma'am.
Well, you were going to say something?
No, I was just going to say, we picked the designated levels, right? And so if you're in that level,
mm-hmm.
you're part of our group. And so, meaning we're gathering data on you.
I mean, right? There's some kind of criteria.
You can't say,
yes.
So the English for math, the grade 4 math teacher can't say, I don't want to do this.
Right.
We're doing it, you're doing it. Mm-hmm. We're submitting, you're because we use map testing.
Yes.
That we've talked about. That's our growth model that we do. It's not related to STAR. And so anyway, that teacher can't say, no, I'm not going to do map testing with my kids. You are doing map testing with our kids. So.
At some point, at some point, if you nominate different people, in 4 years, you'll not have 3 opportunities to nominate, or 4, to add people to it.
Yes, you can. It is a I mean, it's a fairly high standard to, well, there's a range of standards. So while we identify our locally designated system, meaning we set our cut score, we want you to have 80% of the available points before we'll recommend you. The state has established performance standards. We don't have to use those, but we use those as a guideline. So, and when they set theirs, they looked at across the state, what is the top 5%, what is the top 10%, what's the top 25%, and what's the top 50%. And that's basically where they set their levels based on, you know, the data that we have across the state. Now, they have said they don't expect that we submit just look at our top 50% of our teachers. That's not the deal. But what they want to do is recognize the top 50% of performing teachers across the state. So you can't have the top 50% if you don't have a bottom 50%.
Exactly, yeah. And then once the state's received our information, they then decide who's at what level.
No, we set the levels. We said, you know, we want everybody that gets 80 out of our 100 points, we're saying is this level. Everybody that got 75 points is this level. And everybody that got 65 points is at this level. What the state does is looks at our, they have like a 20 points that they look at a data validation. Does our system make sense? Is it close to the state performance standards? If it's really far away, like if we said, if we only expect you to get 20 points, then they're not going to validate our system. But, so we don't have to match it, but we have to be, you know, in the ballpark. But our system is a yes or no. Yes, your system looks good, and so all the teachers we've identified will get money, or no, there's something wrong with your system, y'all don't know what you're doing, you know. They do give us an opportunity to go back, if we don't make the initial cut, to say, this part looked kind of wonky, are you sure this is what you meant to say? And we do have a little bit of leeway to go back and say, oh yeah, that was just a typo, you know, let me fix that. And then we could potentially get a yes from that point. Because they really do want to give teachers the money, but they also want to make sure that it is rewarding those that are performing high.
Maybe this will be right and good.
I think it will. I think it has a lot of potential. And I'm really excited that we have, I feel like a good number of teachers for our first submission that we hope can get some money.
Good deal. Does anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, no, yes. So we're getting, I'm sorry, I'm trying to wrap my head around that whole thing you just said. We're partially getting graded on not necessarily the teachers, but on our system of grading teachers?
Yes.
It has to be approved or validated.
So why are we not just, why aren't they telling us what system to use to grade the teachers on?
Yeah.
Then you're not grading, I don't, well, of course, that's.
So let me help you with part of it. So campus administrators, you know, we have our evaluation system for contracts. Okay, and this is one of the things we talked about when we did it. This TI system is, are you evaluating what's happening in the classroom? And are you accurately evaluating the statistics and the improvement that's shown by the kids? Right? 2 tracks. Oh, Miss Reed, I love you. You do a great job in the classroom. But yet, Miss Reed has not very good 3rd grade math scores. And so this is,
I wouldn't.
right. But this is that, does everything show, is the whole system really accurately predicting the outcomes of the students?
At our level or the state?
I would say also that the state specifically designed it to give some elements of local control.
Sure.
Because they will say, you know, everybody's a little bit different.
I get it.
And what makes for a good teacher in your district may not be what Angleton is looking for. For a good teacher. So to me, this was like a compromise between giving you some local control to identify what's appropriate and what shows good growth in your district, but yet still holding you to a minimum standard.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
But
Mhm.
if our evaluations of our teachers don't equal,
Mhm.
or the evaluation's right here, but the student data's there, we get thrown out.
Outliers.
Right. And so, as you can see, looking at data that's not STAR, this was one of our things. Number one, we want to pay our teachers who are doing a really good job more. But this system, you can't just say the teacher's good. The data's got to prove, and so that's what we want. Are we doing accurate evaluations? And do we actually know? Right, in our district.
You might have said this, and I might have missed it, but who performs the evaluations?
Campus administrators.
You, Miller, no?
Campus.
Principals?
Campus principals only.
Okay.
Campus principals evaluate theirs. That's just part of the whole thing. It's one piece of the puzzle. But if it's not right,
And it's the same evaluation that they've been doing on their teachers for the last 10 years. It's the T-test.
this goes back into that, do we want to try to get better? Right? We're doing everything we can to pay our good teachers more and to do better as a school district, right? And that's the idea.
And we do calibration walks and have talks about, matter of fact, we have one scheduled tomorrow, to go and we talk about what we're seeing and if we're really far off, why are we far off from what I saw versus what maybe Jeff saw or whatever, and we have good discussions about it, and I think it's helped.
Anybody else have a question? All right. District of Innovation and Board Teacher Certification Plan Report.
The last report, we said tonight was a lot of reports, right? If you'll look in your folder, you have a staple packet, the first of it. At the very top, it says delay of teacher certification requirements. So again, we talked about this last month. We have to, this will be on the February agenda for you to approve a plan, right? And so this is the actual, what has to happen. We have to identify the number of uncertified individuals. We have to indicate the total number of new uncertified teachers that have hired on average, of which we've shared that information with you. We have to identify at least one educator prep program where we have our own RAP program internship that we're doing, so we're good there. We have to obtain approval from the District Board of Trustees to delay teacher certification requirements until the beginning of the 29-30 school year. And then we have to include the confirmation of the date in our application to the Commissioner of Education of when the board approved that plan, right? And so what we're looking at doing right now is Wendy's gone in, and Cody, if you'll click on that plan, and click through it until you find the highlighted area. We're taking our DOI plan and for right now adding that to it. As you can see, long story short, we're going to continue with the DOI process. Then what we're going to do is in those areas that are affected by this bill is that we're going to look to fill those jobs. And so even if we have a DOI that the plan allows to go to 29-30, in the meantime, we're still going to try. So if we have a DOI in 4th grade math, like right now, we're going to post that job and try to find a certified teacher, right? We're still going to try to fill those jobs. We're going to not post them, but we're going to fill them with a certified person if we can. Again, people in a DOI have a non-chapter 21 contract, right? So they don't have those appellate rights. So as long as we meet the deadlines, we can that. The problem is that if it's after when it comes to contract season, we have decisions to make. And once we give somebody a contract, they're locked in. And so that's that. We're going to try to do it. It's like right now, we're kind of just, we don't post unless we have an opening, somebody resigns. In this situation, we would still try to fill it finds certified applicants for the positions that are required under this bill. So anyway, that's kind of the plan. So there's not, we have to post a plan, but there's not really anything to post. It's everything in the application that we send to the commissioner, right? And so kind of what we thought is we would just take the District of Innovation and add this to it, right? So again, on the second page of that document, I gave you one of the headlines out of the Texas Tribune today. This was out of the Killeen paper. In Texas, the number of uncertified teachers had surged to 52% of new hires. So this past year in the state of Texas, 52% of the new hires in education. So, and that's what I'm getting at is that, we talked about we still have to have an adult in the classroom and what's best for that, and the way you go about it is that just simply saying you got to meet this rule is not going to solve the certification problem. It looks great, but the rubber meets the road when you really have to put somebody in the classroom with the kids, and then what your process is. So I know it sounds like we're skirting and maybe not playing right. We're trying to, from the bottom up, we're trying to make sure that we have the most qualified individual we can in there. And we're trying to hold ourselves to a higher standard than just finding a sub. Again, it's not an action item tonight. Long story short, the question is, are you willing to allow the CBISD to have that grace between till the 29-30 school year and us work to fill those jobs if we possibly can? Again, knowing that even before this, we had started our own RAP program, and Wendy's running that. I want to say, how many people we have?
29.
So we have 29 people in our RAP pipeline. We're trying everything we can to get them, right? So, with that, that's really all I have for you. The question is whether you.
So the 29, you're trying to push to get certified. Is that what you're trying to encourage?
Yes, but they still have to go through stages, so they have to meet each on-ramp. So in on-ramp 4, the only ones that could even potentially qualify next year for teaching certifications, we have 9.
We still have some that have not taken their certification that are in our.
Other teachers as well, yeah.
We might need that time. We'll have to think about that. So that'll be on next month's agenda.
It'll be on next month's agenda. Okay.
Okay. You may have a question about that. May have some questions about the DOI. Do you understand all that, Greg? The District of Innovation Program?
That has to do with the, kind of like non-certified teachers, correct? That.
So as an example, the young man who teaches financial literacy classes for the Money Matters class at the high school doesn't have a business certification from the state of Texas. But he has a bachelor's and master's degree, and he was worked in the public sector in investments, and is teaching that class for us. Right? It would be much like we used to have a chemistry teacher teaching chemistry at Columbia High School. Who was a chemist at Dow for 30 years and had like 50 patents to her name, but didn't have certification from the state of Texas, right?
And then the DOI allows us to hire those people.
Right. And so one of the plans is when they come and Wendy presents them to you, when we come into executive session, we present them from hiring, that is, or contracts renewed or however, it's always listed that person's a DOI hire. And that was part of our plan, that the board, before you took any personnel actions, you would know if this person didn't have that state certification, and you could ask any questions about what qualifies them for this position.
All right, we're moving on to the action items. So elections coming up. The first item is to call the trustees' election and matters pertaining thereto. Do we have keeps going to sleep.
Election will be May 2nd.
Give us some information, Julie. Just,
May 2nd is the election. We have positions 5, 6, and 7 up for reelection. That's Mr. Broussard, Ms. Hebner, and Ms. Coaching.
all right. So we've got the resolution in our board agenda there. We would need a motion to call the election.
I'll make a motion.
All right, Ray's gonna make a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Second by Greg, all in favor? Was there any discussion about that?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, James, I apologize.
I'm sorry, no, I have something to say. First of all, it's been an honor serving as your trustee for the past 6 years. However, at this time, I won't seek re-election for my third term. I have plans to move into the city. My mom is diagnosed with dementia, and so therefore I'm going back to the city to become a primary caretaker. Also, I would like to say thank you all. It's been a great ride. I'm extremely proud of all of you. We've come a long way in roughly 2,200 days. 2,200 days ago, our district looked totally different. I'm pleased with everything that has taken place since then. Not just talking about the bond, but the things that, as a board, as an administration, what we've accomplished in those 2,200 days. I walk away, I'm not leaving today, but I'm gonna fulfill my term. But I'm extremely proud, and it's something that I'll cherish for a lifetime on being part of this family. When I first got here, had some hard knocks, and one of the things that I will take away from this is Steve used to always say about taking care of his own, and when I first got here, kind of really didn't understand it, and I was like, oh, let's outside. But the more I stayed here, I learned the importance of what it means to take care of family. And whenever I see a student that comes back to this school, we re-implement them into this system, from transitioning to a student to an adult to a teacher. Those things start to really resonate with me, and I've seen a lot of that. I'm extremely proud to have worked with all of my colleagues here. I've learned a lot, and it's something that I'll take away from this, and I feel great about it. And I want to thank you all, and I want to thank you all, and I want to thank the community for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
We've had some good input. We appreciate all of you, especially the safety and all the expertise you've had in that. I know you've been a big help in all that, and we'll appreciate you, the time, and we'll miss you.
I'm still here. My kids are still, I'm a roughneck. My kids are still roughnecks. I've graduated a roughneck from here. I got 2 more to graduate from here, so I'm stuck. You'll still see me every Christmas. The charitable donations, you'll still see those, and I'll be active in some way with the athletics support and things like that. So, you know, I'm not
We'll
going.
always give you your 5 minutes on the other side of that. Like anytime. Thank you, James.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
There's just, sorry, Jennifer, one correction.
Okay.
It says that it's the offices of Ray and Jonathan on the resolution.
What?
On the resolution.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
This one wasn't me, thank you.
So as amended,
Yes, that's
What part of that, Becky?
It's the very.
page, the first whereas.
Whereas the term of office of Ray Sisson, position 3 in Jonathan Champagne.
Oh, okay. You got, see that, Julie? Okay.
It's on this page.
All right, so that's approved as amended, Jennifer. Thank you. All right, and we'll move to the book list. We've all done this a few times now, so I'll entertain a motion if we need to. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, same process as the other campuses, follow that process all the way through, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the Columbia High School list.
All right, a motion by Jackie, a second by James. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, that carries. Consider the secondary academic program. We're probably gonna need some information on that.
This time, I don't think we have any changes, do we, Mr. Miller?
Actually, I was gonna say, in all my time, this is the only, so on the Columbia High School course listings, there is actually 2 changes. One of them is simply just a renaming that the state has renamed. So on your, you should have 2 highlighted, but one is under social studies, and Ms. Hebner, you were a vision, you saw this vision a long time ago. It's something we've been doing for a while, but House Bill 27 was passed this session, which stated that starting with the freshman class of 2026, so the incoming freshmen next year will be required to take a class called Personal Financial Literacy, which will replace economics as the second half of their senior social studies core. So it's 4 years down the road, or 3.5 years, about 4 years down the road. But we're gonna go ahead and get it on the books now since the law passed. Otherwise, we'll probably forget about it between now and then. So we're gonna get it on,
Changing the curriculum on the course too, or not?
No, the curriculum hasn't been written yet.
Ah, good.
Yeah, it's a brand new course. TEA still working on resources. Years ago, we used to offer speech and health, which we still do as a local requirement. Ms. Hebner thought it was important that we put a financial literacy course in there. So we did use the CTE Money Matters course to fill that need, and that's been pretty successful for us. I know the things that are taught, yeah.
Still be an option.
It'll still be an option because it covers a program of study, which the financial literacy is a social studies core. So they basically teach the same things, but technically that's not a bad thing, right? When it comes to money and learn how to adult, right? Then the only other change on the high school level is the old BIM class, BIM 1, BIM 2, that we've offered for years. It's been a local graduation requirement because we think computers are important. The state's changed that to Foundation of Business Communications and Technologies, 1 and 2. That's the only curriculum changes at the high school. One curriculum change at the junior high that they're asking you to approve is last year, Cody's down at the junior high teaching the principal's class. What's the exact name of it, Cody, off the top of you remember?
Well, no.
Principles of Technology.
Information technology.
Yeah, business, yeah. And so that's with the 7th graders. So the idea is we want to continue that on with the 8th graders. So they've requested that you add fundamentals of computer science, which is a level 1 course in that program of study, and that informational technology program of study, which will allow them, when they get to the high school, to jump into computer science 1 with Cody, which will be a CTE class, weighted funding, but also count as a foreign language. So those are the only additions.
On the fundamental of computer science, it says grades 9 to 12, is that right?
For which one?
For the fundamental of computer science at the junior high?
We can drop it down to 8.
I was just wondering,
It's not specifically tied to 9 through 12. We can bump
Okay.
it down to the junior high. Which we've already done that with Foundations of Education, Foundation, or Principles of Audiovisual,
The
Foundation.
question was, are they getting high school credit for it?
Yes. Is that what you're asking?
That's why.
Yes, they are
The answer
getting
is-
high school credit for it.
Okay.
And that's in place of a foreign language. Did you say
Not
that?
at the junior high.
I mean, at high school though.
No.
So that program of study,
Okay.
it's a program of study, meaning it's 4 classes for 3 or more credits. It's informational technology, so they're taking the principles course in 7th grade. You're gonna take another class in that program of study in 8th grade. Then they're gonna get to the high school, and then it'll feed into Cody's Computer Science 1, Computer Science 2. Those classes count as foreign language.
That's what I wanted. Okay.
Not at the junior high, but at the high school. And then if they get through that, they'll be completers, so. Well, maybe not. They'll need a level 3 class. We'll put them in co-op.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, we'll need a motion to consider the secondary academic program.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Motion by Jana, second.
I'll second.
Ray. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Then we come to the action items, our consent agenda. Would anybody like to have anything pulled? There's the minutes from the public hearing and the regular meeting, and then the budget amendments and donations. The board resolution supporting JJAEP, Juvenile Justice Grant for CIS, and then approve the resolution for Texas Public School Week. Somebody want anything pulled out of there to discuss? All right, then we'll need a motion to accept the consent agenda. Ray makes the motion, Greg seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. All right. That leads us to closed session. So we'll go into closed session pursuant to